Good morning, children. How are you? Hope you all are fine and enjoy the lockdown days at home with your family. I think you learned the chapter, already you got the book and you collect from the school also, and you learn that chapter. If you have any problem, any difficulties in that chapter, I think you must contact with me. You can collect my phone number from the office, and if you want to contact with me, you can. If you have the problem in that chapter, then otherwise it's okay. You can send it through the email in the school also. In school email you can send your problem, then I can get it from the school also. Okay, next we move to the next chapter that are called physical quantity and measurement. In physics, it is depend, that is the main thing of the physics we get, that is the physical quantity. What is physical quantity? That is a quantity which can be measured. In physics you have learned the length, how much distance we cover, the length. That is the mass, that is the volume. Everything it can be measured. That are called the physical quantity. That is a quantity which can be measured. That are called physical quantity. Physical quantity, it is expressed by two ways. How? That is, one, it is the magnitude, and the second one, that is called unit. So physical quantity, it has two parts. Physical quantity, first one that are called magnitude, and the second one that are called unit. Magnitude means value. How much distance you covered? We can say, suppose the 5, but 5 will not express. It may be the 5. If what is the length of a pencil? Length of the room. How we can measure it? That is, we say 5, but 5 it is centimeter, meter, or it is kilometer, what may be, that can be expressed by unit. So always we can say, that is, the physical quantity, it can be expressed by two things it is necessary. One, it is the magnitude, and the second one that are known as the unit. What is unit? If we say the length, suppose in that cases, 5, what is, we can say centimeter, or we can say the meter, or if it is a long distances, then what happens? Suppose that you come from a far away from your home, and the distance of your school, maybe it is far, then what happens? In that cases, we can get it the kilometer also. So these are the different units we have to use in different cases. Now, in this chapter, we discuss so many physical quantity and their units. The first one, that is, we discuss the first one, the area. The area. First we discuss area. The amount of the, that is, what is the area we get? That is the amount of surface enclosed by a plane figure. The amount of space. Suppose it is also, these are also area. You can say this is the enclosed, these are also area. We can say that is, these are also the area. So we get, these are enclosed, the total space enclosed by a plane figure that are called area. Now, area in we get area. All cases these are the area. What is it? It is a cube. We can say what is it? It is a rectangle. This is a circle, and this is a maybe we can say these are the square. So in that cases, that is the total we get the space, the surface which is enclosed, that are known as the area. But we get different cases. In case of here, if it is suppose the if we say the length of we can say it is the L. So these are also L. So what happened in that cases we can say the area is equal to area in case of square. Suppose it is the volume. It is figure A, this is B and this is C. So square A, what is the unit? That is side into side. Side into side. So side means here in SI system we can say side means these are the meter into meter. So what we get? That is side square. Side square, that is the meter square. We can get this is the unit. These are the units. If we say these are in case of C, that is the rectangle. Rectangle. That means the C. These are length into breadth. Length into breadth. So what happened? We get here is also the meter. These are also the meter. So here we get their unit, it is the meter square. So length into breadth meter square. We get in case of the rectangle, that means here. In case of the circle, what we get? In case of the circle, there is also pi r square. Though it is very difficult for you, we get that is the area, we can get pi r square. In case of the triangle, suppose this is the D. So what we get? In case of triangle, we get triangle D. We get half into base into height. So here is also base, it is also meter, height is also meter. So we get half base into height meter square. So these are the different way by which we can measure the area of different shape. Maybe the triangle, rectangle, circle and that is the square. In circle we get pi r square, that is the area pi r square. So these are the different area how we can find out. Suppose you given the length of a field and the breadth of the field it is given. So what is the area of that field? We can find out when length and breadth, if it is mentioned a rectangular field, that means length and breadth obviously it is different. If it is mentioned that is a square field whose side is suppose given that is 500 meters. When it is mentioned it is the square field, that means we need only one side and we can find out which one, that is the area of the square field, because we know side square. Then we multiply the side square and the unit we also get it. So in case of the area, in all cases we get that is their SI unit, it is meter square. Meter square. So this way we have to find it. Next we move, that is the volume of the physical quantity. How we can measure the volume of the physical quantity. what is called the volume? The volume of, that is the total space occupied. Total space occupied by an object, that are called volume. Volume, it is in case of the, that is we get area. Here there is three dimensional, length, breadth and height. So we get, if length, breadth and height it is different, we can say these are cuboid. So in case of cuboid, we have, how we can measure the volume? Length, breadth and height it is different, and that is in all cases we get the measuring volume. Volume, that means length into breadth into height. So in all cases we get the unit, it is the meter. So what happened? All cases we get, there is meter into meter into meter, that means meter cube we get. If it is cuboid, there is different, if it is cuboid, then what happened? We get, there is different length, breadth and height. If it is cube, then all the sides are equal, then we get, that is the side cube, that means the unit in SI system meter cube, we can find out the volume of that cube. So that is the first thing, what is called, that is the volume, the total space occupied by an object, it is known as volume, and we can measure the volume in different object also. First we have to know whether they are cuboid or cube. In that cases we have to measure it. Next, in some cases the volume of the liquid can be measured by, do we know, we get the meter cube, but in case of the liquid, what happened? We have to measure it by, that is, here we can say use the liter or cubic centimeter, that is the cc. In case of the liquid, we say the maximum volume of a liquid that can container, that is a container can hold it, that are known as capacity, that are called capacity. That is volume in case of liquid as we in physics, in chemistry you have learned, the liquid do not have any definite shape. So that is a container, how maximum capacity of a container that can hold a liquid, that are known as capacity. In that cases we can say 1 liter is equal to 1000, it is called 1000 ml, or we can say that is the 1000 cc is also there. Now there are different container is there. Some container you can get, that is the container we can get it, some conical measuring can is there. These conical measuring can, in different volume we can get it, that can be used in to measure the petrol, kerosene. These are known as conical measuring container, conical measuring can. Some cases we use, that is it has a long handle, and by this handle we can measure the definite volume of the oil, but oil or milk, that means edible oil or milk, that can be measured by, that is cylindrical, that is mainly it is used to cylindrical measuring can, by which we can measure the edible oil or the milk. And in other cases in laboratory, to measure the specific small volume, we use the measuring cylinder. Measuring cylinder we also get, that is there is such type of structure, we get it, and there are some marking, it is given how much water we can measure, that is to measure the specific volume of the chemicals or any liquid, that can measure in the laboratory by the help of measuring cylinder. So there are different type of can by which we can measure different type of liquids. In case of the petrol, kerosene, we use conical measuring can. In case of edible oil and meat, we use that is cylindrical long handle can, and the specific measurement for the chemicals or any type of liquid in the laboratory we use by measuring cylinders. So these are the different container by which we can measure. But some cases we get to measure the volume of, that is, different shape which do not have any different shape. Those have the length, breadth, height, we can measure it. But there are some objects which do not have definite shape, like the key of a room. Then that is, then we also get, that is, suppose the volume of a irregular shape of stone. How we can measure it? To measure the irregular shape of any object, we take the help of measuring cylinder. We take the help of measuring cylinder. Suppose we get a, listen. This is a small mass, that is a shape of the stone. We have to take the volume of it. It do not have any definite shape. So how we can measure? We take fixed amount of water in measuring cylinder. Suppose it is 50 ml. It can be measured in measuring cylinder. The measuring cylinder, it is narrow. It is narrow. It is not so. These are the small one. These are the small one. Narrow. Now we have to tie this stone with the string. We have to tie properly. And what happened? By the help of the string, we have to dip the stone inside the measuring cylinder so that it cannot touch any wall of this object. Then what happened? When we completely immersed this object into the measuring cylinder below the water level, obviously it will be rise. It will be rise. So these are the initial volume. So we get initial volume, suppose 50 ml. After D, we get, suppose it is 64 ml. So these are the final volume. These are the final. After D, we get that is 64 ml. So what is the volume of this solid one? If we minus, so that is volume of irregular solid is equal to final minus initial volume. So we get that is 64 minus 50 ml. So these are 14 ml. This is the volume of this irregular solid. So to measure the irregular shaped object, we have to take the help of, that is the measuring cylinder by which we can measure the volume of that object. In case of, suppose some numericals can be given. Find out the volume of a cube. Find out the volume of a cuboid. Cuboid means length, breadth and height, it is given. You have to find out the volume. If it is measured, find out the volume of a cube, you have to find out what happened. That is, we have to find out the side. If one side we can get, we can find the volume of a cube. But so irregular volume we can measure by the help of measuring cylinder. But one thing, if we have to measure the area of irregular object, how we can measure it? The area of irregular object, it can be measured by the help of graph paper. Suppose a leaf has given to you, and you have to say, that is, find out the area of the leaf. How we can measure it? It is measured by the help of graph paper. By the help of graph paper. Graph paper, there are some scales it is given, maybe it is centimeter or in inch, whatever you can get it. You can collect the graph paper. In the classroom it is very easy to show the graph paper, and all the time I show it, but now this time it is really very difficult. I don't know whether it is possible or not. You have to, that is, you have to place, it is a graph paper, and then what happens? You have to place the leaf on it. Place the leaf on it. And then, that is, how much you draw, that is the line first, and how much the block of large and the small one it is there, you have to give the tick marks. The complete one and then the half one you have to collect. The complete one you can find out the area by taking the graph, it is millimeter or the centimeter, and then those are the half. How many half are there? If there are 4 half, then it is same as 4 half means 2 complete one. Then what happened? You can measure the area of that leaf. Just you try at home. It is given in the book. You just so the activity, you try it and do that activity by the help of any leaf. You draw the area of the, you find out the area of that leaf. These are the activities, you can do it at home. Okay, thank you. Next day again we will meet.